Oh, I'm so excited for the program today. I am giddy for the program today. And this has nothing to do with this is my final day before I go on vacation. Dragon Ball, it's not that I don't want to spend time with you today. It's not that I don't love you. Dragon Ball, I love you, brother.
I appreciate it, Rich. I love you too, man.
Since the entire time we've worked together, have you ever seen me so giddy, happy, and just excited?
You actually have this almost nervous energy that you're like so excited about today.
I'm really excited about today's program, but for a couple of reasons. It's not that I'm going on vacation. Just to remind everybody, I'm going to take a couple days off. Over the Memorial Day weekend, I am flying to New York City tomorrow. I'm going to go to Fleet Week in New York. I've never been before.
You've never been to New York on personal business. It's always been for work, is what you were saying yesterday.
I don't know how to go on vacation, honestly.
Yep.
I don't know how to go on, and I'm just going by myself. My wife's not coming with me. It's just going to be me in New York during Fleet Week. And Fleet Week is, they have about 3,000 sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, service people in New York City. And it's community outreach. It's a little bit of recruiting. It's a little bit of thanking the men and women in uniform. New York City opens up their arms to them. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, if you listen to the program and I brag all the time about my son, if you get tired of me bragging about my son, I don't care because the only thing that matters to me is being the best dad that I can. He actually goes to school in New York City on Long Island in one of our federal service academies. So he got liberty for the weekend. You know, he can't leave during the week. He can only leave like 8 hours on Saturday.
Right.
And the rest of the time he's locked down on campus. So he actually has liberty Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So he's going to stay with me in the city, and we're going to go explore New York City. And it is going to be a blast. And I'm going to go on vacation. This is the first vacation I've had since I come back to work at the radio station. Really, the first vacation I've ever had in my adult life that I'm going somewhere on vacation and I am not going to work.
That can't be the first time.
I've never gone on vacation anywhere where I wasn't doing something other than being there on vacation, relaxing.
Wow.
I've never taken a trip anywhere where it was just vacation. My closest thing to vacation would be going to see my mom and dad.
Right.
Traveling cross country to see my mom and dad, but that's not really a vacation. Like my friends would go, "Oh, we're going to Hawaii. What are you going to do? Sit on the beach? What else do you do on vacation?" I have no idea. I've never been on a vacation in my life. So I'm pretty darn excited. to go on vacation, just get a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to come back and we'll start our Pac-12 summer football tour. We'll start looking at all the teams and going through the Pac-12 and getting you ready for the football season during June, July, getting ready for August camp. Mm-hmm. Can you see that smile on the radio? Can you see that? In fact, I started packing. I started getting ready. I am excited. So by this time tomorrow, I'll be on a plane heading to Manhattan. Oh boy, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm a little afraid of Rich Herrera running wild in Las Vegas, unaccompanied. Right? Nobody's there to make me behave myself.
No.
Whew.
Well, I mean, wait, hold on. Is Liz going with you?
No.
Oh,
just me.
So we may not see you come back.
Because remember, last time me and my son went somewhere by ourselves, it was to Las Vegas for his birthday.
Ooh,
so that's the closest I've come to a vacation.
Right.
I took him to Vegas for his birthday. And we knew the hilarity the hilarity that followed there, where he got into a barroom brawl. He got
as you have to.
Yeah, exactly. It was The Hangover Part 3. So I don't know what this is going to be like. Anyway, I'm very excited about the program today because I've got a really, really special guest. If you read the Arizona Daily Star, great story this week about a Sunnyside wrestler, Jaime Rivera. Pretty impressive young man, 3-time state champion in wrestling, 4.0. And this week, he signed his letter of commitment to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point. In the, I think it's 46 years that Sunnyside has been around, this is the first student from that school to attend a United States Federal Service Academy. It is an honor to have him coming up on the program today. I'm so excited. I want to tell his story. He's a role model. He's a future leader. And he's somebody the entire community of Tucson should be proud of. I can't wait to introduce and tell this story of the son of immigrants that worked hard, said that I could do anything I put my mind to it. Dragon Ball. His choices were Harvard, Penn State, and West Point. Those are pretty good schools to have to choose between, right?
Not to mention, again, we're talking about a Sunnyside wrestler. That's royalty in and of itself with that
Correct.
program. Penn State could be like that next level of royalty because
Right.
Penn State's wrestling academy is
And there's some kids that have already gone from Sunnyside to Penn State.
Penn State, yes.
Right. So if you think about it, his choices were Power 5 wrestling for arguably the best wrestling program in the country, Harvard,
Ivy League
Harvard, or the United States Military Academy at West Point. You want to talk about someone impressive? We're going to meet him today on the program, coming up at 3:30. You need to stick around and listen to that. Coming up a little bit later, also, Topo Chico, Margarita Hard Seltzer, Topo Chico, Ranch Water Hard Seltzer. They are going to give you an opportunity to win a $25 gift card today just for listening to the radio show. So if that's not enough, we've got Arizona baseball coming up against Stanford. Somewhere in the 4 o'clock hour. 4 to 5-ish hour, depending on how long the first games went, because they start at 9. They need a little break to prep the field between games. So you had Oregon, Arizona State playing an early game. That game went to Arizona State, so Oregon has lost 2, so it's 2 on a barbecue for them. They're gone. Arizona State is waiting to take on the loser of Stanford, Arizona, tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We'll get into all of that for you coming up here on the program. So all of that coming up here on the show. Let's get to it right now. Let's just see what's bouncing around in the big old noggin of mine today, shall we?
Warning. The following segment might trigger some listeners, and 1290 does not take responsibility for the following content.
What the hell is going on?
It's time for the list as we explore the sick, twisted mind of our host, Rich Herrera.
And that's when things got bad.
And the list of things he is thinking about in that huge size 8 Chrome Magnum head of his.
Look at the size of that boy's head. That's like an orange on a toothpick.
You're gonna give the boy a complex.
Well, that's a huge noggin. Has its own weather system.
It does. And this big old noggin is on his way to New York City tomorrow. All right, so here's what's rattling around in my head. I am so pumped up to have Jaime Rivera joining us today. West Point bound, Sunnyside wrestler. I'll just tell you this. I cannot guarantee that I am not going to choke up when he tells you his story. It tells you about his family. It tells you why he's going to West Point and what it means to him, his family, and I think the entire community. Dragon Ball. I think the entire community. I think the whole Sunnyside community, the whole south side of Tucson, where people are looking for role models. You want to find a role model? I got one for you right here. A young man who said, "I am going to reach for the highest. I'm going to reach for I'm going to reach for the moon and the stars. Good, if good is the enemy of great, I'm never going to settle for just being good." And he didn't. He said, "There's no limit to what I could do," and he proved it by getting into one of the most prestigious, one of the most elite schools in the nation. And by the way, for the Federal Service Academies, Dragon Ball, I don't know if many people know this, but it's not just grades and interviews and essays. In order to go, it literally takes an act of Congress. You have to have, for 4 of our 5 Federal Service Academies, you have to have a congressional nomination from your member of Congress, your congressman, House of Representatives, or your U.S. senator. There's kids that get their applications in, they get accepted, but they don't get the nomination and don't get in. That's how competitive this is. So we're going to talk to him coming up here in just a little bit. What else is rattling around in my big old head? All right, Cats take on Stanford. Game 2 for the Arizona Wildcats in the Pac-12 tournament. Yesterday, they beat up and used the home runs. Daniel Susek, 2 bombs to knock off Oregon. Oregon then loses to Arizona State. Arizona State advances to their third game in the losers bracket. They have to play at 3 o'clock tomorrow in Scottsdale. And they'll either take on the Cats or the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford is the number 1 seed in the tournament. Cats got their hands full with one of the best teams in the Pac-12, if not the nation. You win, you get Friday off, you go play Saturday. You lose, you got to face your arch rivals, Arizona State, on a Friday. Winner leaves town. Loser leaves town match in Scottsdale. So Brian Jeffries will take over. We're going to kick it over to him a little bit early. We're going to end the show somewhere in the 4 o'clock hour to get you to Scottsdale in time to start that ball game. So that's coming up here on Wildcats Radio 1290. The Dubs play tonight. They're 5.5-point favorites. 1 win away from advancing to the NBA Finals. Well, they'll probably take on the Celtics because the Heat have just run out of gas. Although Jimmy Buckets said, don't count us out just quite yet. Now, Dragon Ball, I still owe you a taco. I know, it's bad. I'm going to actually leave the state without getting your taco. I did offer to get you your taco today, but you said no.
I said no mostly because I'm still working on lunch as is per our usual schedule. I bought my lunch at 12. It's still going at about 3 o'clock here.
Like my sister, when she was a kid, my mom would say, all right, if you don't hurry up and finish eating, you're going to sit here in the dark. And there are a couple times it's like an hour, 2 hours, and my sister just won't finish eating. My mom would actually sit there, turn off the light, and let her sit there in the dark until she finished.
Well, luckily, I don't have that problem because if they end up turning the power off on me, then nothing gets done. So, I mean,
by the way, did you see? If you're watching on YouTube, I got a new mug.
Oh, U.S. Okay,
look at that. Oh, wait a minute, am I doing it the right way?
There you go.
I got a proud U.S. Navy dad mug.
There you go.
Because Riggs is technically in the Naval Reserve while he's attending the academy until he goes active duty.
Right. But no, I'll get my taco at a later date, just like you will get your gift card at a later time as well.
We'll see which one gets here first. Anyway, tonight, the Dubs are a 5.5-point favorite to win. You talked me out of I was going to put like $500 down on the Dubs to win and just sweep them.
Yeah.
You said, I got a feeling.
I told you very specifically to quote the great Lou Brown.
But I got a hunch he's due.
And they were. And the Mavs went out there. The Dubs did their best to make it a game. But eventually, it was all about the Mavs finishing that one off, staving off elimination, setting us up for Game 5 tonight. Do I put my entire winning for the football season on this ball game tonight with the Dubs?
I would say don't put the whole thing.
Come on.
Put about half.
All right, how about $100 on the Dubs tonight?
I think $100 is a safe bet.
Because I lost by 5 in the last game.
And it took a near triple-double by Luka in order for the Mavs to go ahead and take that win. So I would say today's a safe day to bet that the series closes out.
Tucson, could you imagine the damage I could do if I had an extra couple $100 in New York City this weekend if the Dubs win tonight?
Oh, help those poor boats in the river.
No, you know how many slices of pizza I can eat?
Oh, no, that's what
you know
I mean.
How many hot dogs I can eat? You know how many pretzels I can eat from the people in the stands? Have you been to New York before?
I've never been further out east than like Texas. That's about as far east as I've got. Well, no, I've been to Pittsburgh, but I've never been up to New York.
So many jokes I can go there, but I'm going to run out of time. Let's see. And then that's a big thing. I am giddy, going on vacation. I'm going to New York. Fleet Week. What is Fleet Week? Do you got that for me? Here's what Fleet Week is, because I've been talking about it. A bunch of people look at me like, oh, we don't have water in Tucson. We've never seen a Fleet Week before. Dragon Ball.
This is Fleet Week.
After a 2-year break, Fleet Week is back in New York City, and crowds of people were on hand today to welcome members of the U.S. Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard.
And as CBS 2's Nick Calloway tells us, the pomp and circumstance continued into the night.
At the crossroads of the world, a one-of-a-kind cross between world-class music and military pomp and circumstance. The U.S. Marine Corps Battle Color Detachment performed for hundreds of spectators on the first night of Fleet Week.
Wonderful. It was really, really nice.
I think it's special for all of us to get to be out here and to celebrate such a tremendous thing as Fleet Week.
So that's a little report from the news. So there's 3,000 sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen in uniform. That was right in the middle of Times Square. They had the Marine silent drill team. Have you ever seen them before?
No, I have not.
You've never seen the silent drill team before?
I have not.
Oh, you got to look it up. They do close order drill with no instructions, no verbal instructions, 100% silent. They're throwing rifles back and forth at each other. They're in perfect step. It is impressive.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't recall anything.
Before the end of the show, I want you to look it up. It is impressive. So anyway, that's where I will be tomorrow in New York with my son and his shipmates. And I told him, guys, we're going to go out and we're going to have a heck of a time. In fact, I already looked up the best bars to drink at for Fleet Week.
Of course you did.
I asked him, I said, do I get to bring the big sombrero? Remember I told I went to
the big. Are you going to bring your urban sombrero?
I do have an urban sombrero.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about bringing the urban sombrero.
There you go.
It's going to be fun. Anyway, that's what's rattling around in my big old head right now. All right, coming up with the program, we're going to talk a little Topo Chico hard seltzer. I want to thank them and Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer, Topo Chico Ranch Water hard seltzer. They are bringing you today's program. A little bit later, you get a chance to win a $25 gift card. Bottom of the hour, Jaime Rivera will join us, Sunnyside High School. 3-time state wrestling champ, and now new cadet candidate. He'll report July 11th to West Point. It's a great story. You'll hear that coming up here on 1290. All right, we continue with you. Rich Rare Radio Show. Breaking news. I'm confused. Shelby from Miller Coors is coming by. All right, so I was all excited a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Topo Chico hard seltzer. Then I go to the store this weekend and I'm looking around and I go, oh, where's the Topo Chico hard seltzer? And I walk over and boom, hits me in the face. There's more than one Topo Chico out there. You didn't tell me this, Shelby. You're in my doghouse. Now I learned there's a Topo Chico hard seltzer and another Topo Chico brand that I can enjoy to help me not spontaneously combust this summer.
That's right. So Topo Chico took under its wing a few different things. So we have now the Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzers, which is going to be very similar to your just basic hard seltzers, but they're a margarita spin on things.
Okay, stop right there. You have to say it with conviction and vigor and vibe, and you've got to help cut through the heat as people are driving their car right now. So it's Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer. So try it one more time like that.
Topo Chico Margaritas. Is that better?
That was pretty good for someone from Wisconsin. All right, so let's go back to this because my wife likes a Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzers we learned this weekend by sitting by the pool. What? Tell me about this.
So the margaritas are just more of a sweeter seltzer. So we have flavors like strawberry hibiscus, your traditional margarita, tropical pineapple, and then prickly pear.
Prickly pear.
Yes.
Say it.
Prickly pear.
Which is your favorite?
I would definitely say the strawberry hibiscus or tropical pineapple.
What if I can't decide between prickly pear and all the rest of this, the traditional margarita? There's a lot of stress you're putting on me, and it's hot. My feet are hot, and it's hot, and I need to get relief. What do I do?
I would say pick up both, and you can be the judge of that yourself, right?
So you're encouraging me to get like a variety pack.
Yeah, get a variety pack of the margarita and then a variety pack of our traditional Topo Chicos.
The Topo Chico hard seltzer.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Topo Chico hard seltzer.
I would love to play Simon Says with you. All right, Shelby, say Topo Chico hard seltzer.
Topo Chico hard seltzer.
Simon says Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer.
Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer.
Now say Topo Chico hard seltzer.
Topo Chico hard.
Now you missed. We're playing Simon Says. It's available everywhere throughout town. And again, you know what? At this point in the summer, really, they make you come in here. Did they tell you that you were going to do this when you took the job down here?
No. They signed me up for this about a few days ago. So.
Oh, good. So you lost. You lost in the contest. Who'd you make mad that made you come on the radio show?
Oh, that would be my sales executive down here with me, Dan.
So you made Dan mad, and the punishment is you have to come in here and explain to me the difference between Topo Chico hard seltzer and Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer.
No, I think Dan thought he was doing me a favor by signing me up for this.
Was he?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? You wait till we go play Top Golf and have the Topo Chico hard seltzer. But Topo Chico, again, there's so many different hard seltzers out there. It's a little confusing, a little intimidating sometimes, right? Yeah. This one you can't go wrong with. You said that people are like running to the shelves, hoarding this, taking it home, putting it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, it's very popular everywhere, and honestly, I have not heard a bad thing about it, and it's currently outbeating our biggest competitor, which is White Claw.
Wow. Okay, Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer, Topo Chico hard seltzer, and if I was going to pair it with the cheese, what cheese would I pair it with?
Probably like a good Monterey Jack?
Like a Monterey Jack?
Yeah, something a little spicy.
Like a Harvita or something like that.
Yeah.
See, she knows all about Topo Chico hard seltzer, Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer, and she's from Wisconsin, so she has to know something about brats, and she has to know something about cheese.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when you're a kid, what's the staple of your diet for a kid in Wisconsin? Is it automatically like as soon as they're done, as soon as they get teeth, it's like, all right, here you go, here's your first brat.
Brats, cheese, and probably like a good apple pie. That would be my Wisconsin balanced diet.
I love Wisconsin. I could go to Wisconsin, but it's too cold, so I'm staying here in Arizona. Hey, don't forget Topo Chico hard seltzer, Topo Chico Margarita hard seltzer. A little bit later, $25 gift card will be given out, courtesy of our friends at Finley Distributing, and of course the lovely, the talented, the cheese eating, brat cooking, Topo Chico drinking friend of ours on the program. Are you going to come back next week?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be back anytime you need me to say Topo Chico.
There you go. She's rolling her eyes at me. We'll see if she comes back next week. A little bit later, $25 gift card could be had just for listening to this radio show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is David Amata, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 3:34. Arizona Track and Field continues up at the regional contest at the top of the hour here, but long jumper Ronaldo Rodriguez and javelin thrower Jared O'Reilly have both punched their tickets to nationals. Congratulations to them. Arizona Golf will find themselves a new facility at the Tucson Country Club after the university announced that they will have the new inclusion of the Bill Clements Golf Center to the Tucson Country Club. And they will return to the court for Zion Williamson after the Pelicans' former top overall pick was officially cleared to return to play this next season after missing all of last year. And after bringing home a national championship to Athens, Georgia, the University of Georgia Bulldogs and head coach Kirby Smart are closing in on a long-term contract extension, according to reports. That's what's trending locally and nationally on 1290. Still more to come on the Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
We continue with you. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. My name is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for joining us. I've got a treat for you. There is a young man, a special young man in Tucson, just graduated from Sunnyside High School. And he is the first ever person from the Sunnyside School District that will be attending West Point, the United States Military Academy. He's a 3-time state champion in wrestling, and he's going to represent all of us at one of the most prestigious universities in the country, wrestling for the West Point Black Knights. Now, what's it take to get into West Point? It's a congressional nomination. It's one of the toughest schools in America to get into, but it's even more than that because the commitment that these young men are going to make, and women, to serve our country and defend our freedom once they get through one of the most rigorous academic schools in the nation. So I'm going to borrow something from CBS. One of my favorite things all year long is the Army-Navy game, just to give you a little taste of the prestige and the history and the tradition that this young man from Tucson is going to be walking into. Here's a little taste of the tease from what it takes to get to Army while they were getting ready for the Army-Navy game.
From the very beginning, it's always started the same way. For every one of them, across generations, across eras, across history. Over more than a century, they've all waited to get the same word. To get word that they've been chosen. Chosen to sacrifice.
Kidding me?
To dedicate.
There's a letter.
To serve.
Dear Mr. Elliott.
Dear Mr. E.
Dear Mr. Holden.
You've been selected for a mission.
And authorized to report to the United States Naval Academy.
United States Military Academy.
9th of July, 1960.
1921
On 12 July 2001.
Annapolis, Maryland.
West Point, New York. So proud of you, son.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
That boy's going to be an officer in the United States Army.
Only they know what it feels like to be a different kind of kid. The kind of kid willing to risk life for country.
So many people ask, why would he ever commit to going to this type of an institution?
It's scary as a parent. It's something I think every parent thinks about.
But you're proud of them on the other hand, you know?
They're actually giving up a lot of themselves to support and protect everyone else.
How many people can say that that's what their kid decides to do?
It's in his heart, and it has to be in your heart to defend the country.
You can expect to be challenged academically, physically, morally. Your summers basically don't exist.
You miss out on the kids' holidays.
It's not going to be an easy journey.
You have your academics, you have your military duty, and you have football.
This is from the Army-Navy intro. It just kind of gives you a little taste of what it takes to get there and the commitment that you have to have in order to go to a place like West Point. And I know the entire south side of Tucson, all of Tucson, is really, really proud, particularly those from Sunnyside, the Sunnyside School District, that this young man has made the decision and earned the right to walk in the footsteps of Dwight David Eisenhower and General MacArthur and so many of the leaders that have made America what it is today. I am so proud to welcome Jaime Rivera Jr., new cadet candidate who's received an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. He's our special guest here on Wildcats Radio 1290. First of all, from all of us in Tucson, congratulations.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I read the article in the newspaper, and Caitlin Schmidt did a beautiful job talking about your story, and I said, boy, I got to share this story. I got to share this story with everybody in Tucson. So I want to get to know you a little bit. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know how you were able to get such an amazing accomplishment as an appointment to West Point. So tell me a little bit about your story, your background, growing up here in Tucson, and your family.
Yeah, of course. So ever since I was a young kid, I've been really into sports and all the whole thing. My dad actually was the one that got us into wrestling. He was a wrestler himself. He wrestled for Wilcox High School, and he was a two-time state champ himself. So, at a really young age, we were into the whole sports scene and playing all kinds of sports. How wrestling really started to become the main focus for me in middle school. That's when we came over here to move. When we lived over here in Tucson. So I was originally born in Phoenix, lived in Chicago for a little bit, and then came back here in Tucson. And so at this time, coming down to middle school, I went down to Desert Sky Middle School. That's in the Vale School District. And, wrestling was really important to me because I knew I wanted to take it to the next level, and I knew I wanted to go somewhere with it. So the main intention for me was that my parents didn't have to pay a single penny for me to go to college. So as I transitioned into high school, I realized that this dream of mine was slowly turning into reality through hard work and lots of determination. Now, Sunnyside High School has been my breeding grounds for years now, so I'm really thankful to be where I'm at and to have such great opportunities.
We're talking right now with Jaime Rivera Jr., just graduated from Sunnyside. You've read his name in the paper forever, three-time state champion, and now has received an appointment to attend West Point. Talk to us about your high school wrestling career. Three-time state champion, has a great ring to it, and that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, so I was actually a four-time state finalist, three-time state champ. My junior year, I had a little hiccup in the state finals, so unfortunately went down. But I won my freshman, sophomore, and senior year at state. I was also able to capture 4 team state titles with Sunnyside. Being a part of that team is a surreal experience, to say the least. I mean, especially being on the leading end of it, being like one of the captains, being able to teach and mentor the young kids. That's something that always stick out to me in my high school and wrestling career. That's one of the reasons I chose West Point, right? They're so based around leadership and teaching others and learning. I feel like the academy chose me to say.
So at West Point, they're looking for leaders. They're looking for our nation's next class of leaders. So athletics is important, but academics is important as well. What's your GPA?
I feel like I finished with a 4.3, if I'm not mistaken.
How do you balance pulling a 4.3 and you go to the state championship 4 times? That's hard work. Those are long hours. That's dedication. And then the classes you took on top, to have over a 4.0, you're taking advanced classes, AP classes. You're taking the classes that give you a chance to get a 5 instead of just a 4. I mean, talk about how you balanced being a leader on the wrestling team, being successful, and earning all your letters and your trips to the state championships, and having over a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah, of course. So like you mentioned, it was a lot of AP classes, a lot of honors classes and advanced classes, etc. But, I feel like going into high school, my whole mentality, my parents, my coaches, and my mentality were I needed to be the best possible version of myself I could be, and that would take lots of determination, dedication, and perseverance on my end, as well as my coach's end, my teacher's end, and my parents' end. So it really was like it took a community effort to get to where I'm at, to say the least. I feel as if balancing this out was one of the biggest accomplishments for me, to be honest. I feel as if there was a lot to be done, but at the end of the day, I got all the work done, and it surely paid off.
We were talking about you a little bit earlier. West Point wasn't your only option. You had Ivy League schools chasing you. You had Penn State chasing you. Talk about the recruiting process and what it was like for you, and what was your prize? What were you keeping your eye on as far as your stretch school, the one that you really wanted to go to?
Yeah, so for me, the recruiting process was a bit interesting. It was right in the middle of COVID, so it wasn't your typical recruiting year where you could go out, see every campus, talk in person. It was a little different. It was a lot of Zoom calls. It was a lot via text and email and group chats, and so that right there I feel was a disadvantage. But we overcame it, and some of the few schools. I mean, the schools that stuck out to me were ones that really stuck with and cared about incorporating academics and athletics, as well as leadership, not to mention. So a balance of all the three aspects is really what came down to me when I made my final decision. And, I had some schools like...
I'm sorry, you cut out for just a second. What other schools were around Stiffen?
Yeah, those were like my top 6. Those 5 plus West Point.
Give me the 5. You cut out for just a second. Give me the 5 one more time, please.
Yes, sir. So the top 5 were, in no specific order, actually top 6, West Point, Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Wow. I mean, just being able to look at one of those and being competitive is pretty amazing. All 6 of those is off the chart. So tell me a little bit about your high school. Tell me a little bit about Sunnyside. And I know this, and we talked a little bit last night. I'm a service academy dad. My son goes to the United States Merchant Marine Academy, and I know what it took for him to get in there, and I know the rigors and the academics, and I know how tough it is. So we live this on a daily basis. You don't get there by yourself. Absolutely, you're the one who's achieving everything, but it takes a whole family to support you, to put you in a position to achieve what you've achieved so far. So talk to me about the folks at Sunnyside, your wrestling coaches, the teachers, and everybody in the school district that helped put you in a position to earn your appointment to West Point.
Right. So like you mentioned, it really does take a village, and I feel as if that statement is a bit underrated these days. It took so many people culminating in and helping me out to achieve and get to where I'm at, right? Sunnyside is such a historic place. Sunnyside Wrestling is the biggest dynasty, I would probably say, in the country regarding sports. I mean, we've won 35 state championships out of the last, 44 years, 35 out of 44. Do the math, that's like an 85% chance of winning. Those numbers are ridiculous. So, the dynasty, it's really what keeps us going. We owe what we do to the people that came before us and the people that set the standards so high. Our coaches are incredible. I feel as if our staff is one of the best in the country, led by Coach Anthony Leon and head associate coach William Olivas. They're some of the top guys. They teach me so much. They've been with me since middle school and teaching me and helping me, not to mention the teachers and the administrators and all the parents. So many parents that give back to us, even if they don't have kids anymore in high school, they're still coming in, helping out. I feel as if that's another reason why we have so much success, right? This year, I want to say we raised about $17,000 in funds in like 3 weeks, and that took a whole community effort that really helped us achieve what we achieved this year. And that just comes to show how much everyone puts in and what you get, what you put into it.
All right, so tell me, and we're talking right now with Jaime Rivera Jr. He'll be attending West Point, where he'll be wrestling next year for Army. Tell me what went into the decision-making process. When did you first learn about the United States Military Academy? When did you start doing a deep dive and thinking about this seriously? And what did you know about it and learn about it through the recruiting process and your decision, which is a big decision to attend?
Right. So if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't too fond of the military academy before they had reached out to me. I had briefly known about it and briefly known what they are and what they do and who they are. But once they were one of the first schools to call me on the recruiting day. And once I really learned about them and learned about what they do, it kind of they hit me right away, and I just kind of felt like I stuck with it. West Point is a school that not only balances great athletics and academics, but like I mentioned before, leadership skills, and that to me is super important. Also, on top of that, I want to major in engineering, and they have one of the top engineering programs in the country, perhaps the world. So those were all factors that I based when I took my decision to commit to West Point, which I actually committed on my 17th birthday, September 7th, 2021. So that was pretty exciting.
When you get that big, they call it a big fat envelope, your BFE, because it's your appointment and the paperwork and, and the letter from the superintendent saying that you've earned a right to be in the class in an appointment. When you get that letter and you open it up with your family, what's that like?
Oh, it was surreal. It was super exciting to actually be, how do I put it, officially into the academy and be able to go on and represent the United States and keep wrestling Division I. It was great. It was a great experience.
Talk to me a little bit about your background. In fact, by the way, I'm gonna have a special treat. We're gonna meet Jaime's dad. I want to talk to him, service academy dad to service academy dad. Talk to us about your family, because you're first generation American. Your folks are from Mexico, and having an opportunity in this nation to do what you're doing. I mean, you're walking in the footsteps of some of the founders, some of the foundations, some of the people that made America what it is. And here you are, a kid from Sunnyside High School. You're going to walk, and you're going to be in class, and you're going to be one of the future leaders of this nation. I'm not sure where you're going to be 20 years from now, but I know you're all going to make us proud. Talk to us about what it's like being a first-generation American from Tucson, Arizona, to represent your country and to be able to achieve the dreams that your mom and dad had when they came here.
Yeah, no, it feels great to be able to represent South Tucson and the South Side and Southern Arizona. We love to rep Arizona and Tucson. I'm actually wearing a Sunnyside shirt right now. So it's just a great feeling, right? My parents, they've always wanted the best for me, and they've done whatever they could. I mean, they've done everything they could in their power to make sure we have a good life and the most advantages, and, you know, just being able to live up to what they wanted me to be and possibly exceed it now and in the future. It's surreal to think about. I mean, I know I'm setting a big standard for my brothers. My middle brother, Christian Rivera, he's also a wrestler at Sunnyside. He's a state champ. He's a sophomore this year. He just won his first state title. So he's following in the right footsteps and doing good in class, as well as my younger brother, Giovanni Rivera. He's a 7th grader over at Gallego Middle School. So he's going to keep wrestling, keep it going like we are. So it's just so much blessings, great experiences.
How about being a role model for kids throughout Tucson, whether they live in the foothills, South Side, out in Marana, wherever, that you look around? I mean, we're talking about the elite of elite institutions, where, like I said, America's leaders are. There's going to be kids that are going to look at you and go, he did it, I can do this. How important is it to show kids that doesn't matter what your background is, what your family does for a living, if you put your mind to it and you work hard, you can achieve?
Yeah, you're totally right. This is the country of opportunity. I mean, there's nothing that can stop you when you put your mind to whatever it is you want. Age can't define you, race can't define you, religion, how much money you have, whatever, where you live. Nothing should ever be able to define you. And I feel as if me being a role model for people and to show them that there really is an opportunity and a way out to fulfill your dreams. That's really important to me. I just hope to be an inspiration to others so they can follow in their own footsteps. I mean, follow behind my footsteps in their own way.
Our day is July 11th. You don't get a summer break. You get no break. You're off to our day. You're not going to get summers. You don't get to have hair. You don't get to have any privileges. You're going to have upperclassmen yelling and screaming at you through beast of 6 weeks, and then you get into the rigorous academic programs of Army West Point. I mean, this is the beginning of a journey for you. What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm honestly super excited. I know that's probably not what anyone is expecting right now, but I'm super excited. Not nervous yet, but I'm really looking forward to it and looking forward to seize any opportunity given to me, because I feel as if that's what I do best.
You know what? can I give you a little advice?
Please.
Here's what my son learned. Okay, so he went to Naval Station Great Lakes first year out of high school for NDOC there as an ROTC midshipman, and then he got into the academy on his second try, and had to go through NDOC again. So he's actually gone through this twice. The best advice he got was, and this is going to be weird for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Be perfectly mediocre.
Perfectly mediocre.
You've never been mediocre in your life. But one of the things that he learned, and I learned this actually from one of the Army football coaches, is at Army, you have to learn how to lead, or you have to learn how to follow before you can learn how to lead. So when you go to Beast and you report for our day, they don't care that you're a four-time you had 4 trips to the state championship. They don't care that you have a 4.0. They don't care about anything else that you've done in your civilian life. They're going to break you down and remake you into the best cadet you could be, and they're going to teach you how to follow, because once you learn how to follow, then you could begin to learn how to lead. So he learned this the hard way. Don't be the first on a ruck. Don't be the last. Be right there in the middle and be the best follower you could be. And then eventually, once you get through your plebe year and they start giving you leadership billets, then you get to learn how to lead. But for now, all the overachievers that are going to school with you, they all want to be leaders, but they don't know how to follow yet. So the Army football coaches told me, we need kids to learn how to follow first, then we're going to make them into leaders.
Of course, yeah. I'm definitely going to walk into West Point with a lot of humility, ready to learn, ready to take in whatever they have to offer, everything they have to offer. And I agree with your statements. I feel as if this is the best way for us, for our young generation of leaders to learn, and then vice versa, become the best leaders ourselves. I'm totally with you on this end.
I got to just tell you, I've enjoyed our conversation. So proud of you. Tucson's proud of you.
Thank you so much.
There's so many families out there that can point to you and go, Mijo, you can do this.
Of course.
Throughout Tucson. I promised everybody, I'm so proud of you. I promised everybody I wasn't getting choked up, but I really am. You're absolutely inspirational. And as I read the newspaper, I got choked up. Getting ready for you, I got choked up just because I'm so proud of you. And I think everybody here in Tucson is equally as proud of you. So go get them. And I'm only going to say this once because we're a Navy family, right? We're a Navy family. Mm-hmm. So don't tell my son I said this, but I'm going to say this to you and you only. Go Army, beat Navy.
Hey,
go do the best job that you can. Make us proud, and we're going to check in with you throughout the wrestling season because, again, you've made our community proud.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. That was always the plan.
Thank you so much.
Follow through.
Best of luck. We really appreciate you taking time joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. It means a lot.
Take care now.
All righty. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. All right. I got a special treat for you. And again, I promise I'm not going to blubber, but Dragon Ball, I've already ruined that, haven't I? I mean,
it usually happens.
I know. All right. You told me I got to take a break real quick?
Well, because we're getting to the top of the hour.
Okay, so let me take a break real quick, and then I want to bring on Jaime's dad. I just have to congratulate this man for raising someone like that that'll be a future leader in our country. We're going to talk to his dad coming up here in just a second as well. If that doesn't help put in perspective what the young men and women in Tucson are capable of doing, I'm not sure what does. We'll continue with this is 1290. All right, I'm going bonus extended coverage of this story. It was in the newspaper earlier this week. Caitlin Schmidt did a wonderful job in the Arizona Daily Star. The headline, Sunnyside Wrestler is West Point bound, making district history. First ever student for the Sunnyside School District to attend West Point, one of the most prestigious schools in America. It takes a congressional nomination. It takes GPAs, SATs. It takes letters of recommendation, and it is one of the toughest schools to get into in America. It is the laboratory of leadership. Our 5 federal service academies: Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine Academy. I'm a service academy dad. In fact, I'm going this weekend to see my son in New York for Fleet Week. I've never stepped foot on the campus. I couldn't imagine as a kid what it would be like to even step on the campus of one of these elite, prestigious universities that, quite honestly, people like me don't aspire to. Our kids didn't know about. And when you see kids like Jaime achieving this dream, 15,000 kids will fill out an application. They'll take, this class is 1,400. And of this class of 1,400, about 1,000 will graduate. That's how tough it is. And like I said, it takes a congressional nomination just to be in the running. There's kids that'll have a 4.0. They'll have perfect SATs or ACT scores, and they can't obtain a congressional nomination and won't get in. There are kids that got into Harvard and Yale that won't get into West Point. So the fact that this young man from our community is going there and he's going to wrestle is something inspiring for all of us. So I actually asked, and I hope you guys don't mind, but I want to meet Jaime Sr. I just want to congratulate this man that is seeing his family's dreams come true with his oldest son, and he's got 2 more on the way that I wouldn't be surprised end up at Army or Harvard or one of those schools as well. So Jaime Rivera Sr. joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. First of all, I just got to tell you publicly, congratulations to your family. Congratulations to your son. Congratulations to everybody at Sunnyside. What a remarkable day that your boy is going to walk on to the campus of West Point and be there with the best of the best that our nation has to offer. Thank you so much for joining us, Jaime, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It means a lot. I sincerely appreciate it, and good afternoon to everybody. Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
Okay, so many dads. I'm just going to talk you dad to dad. So many of my friends have kids, and it's not easy being a dad. It's not easy being a dad. There's so many distractions with social media, and there's just so much going on. This world is crazy right now. When you see what your son has turned out to be, tell me what it was like raising him. Tell me what it was like being around him. Tell me how inspiring he was to you, and how you and your wife were able to raise such a remarkable young man.
Yeah, that's a mouthful right there. You know, he's definitely been very special. You know, from day one. You know, a very disciplined student from the get-go, individual from the get-go, and you know, just has done everything the right way, which is what we're most proud of. You know, from day one. So, you know, just you know, we actually, not necessarily us, but in the school system, once he entered first grade, I would say kindergarten to first grade, he was identified as a gifted student, and you know, we were obviously very proud of that as well. But once again, they retested him in third grade, and you know, just to reconfirm, and he wrote a few essays that left the gifted teachers in tears, actually. You know, and it was just they came out after the exam just to tell us, you know, about what he had just written, and pretty much broke down crying. The teacher did. So I was, you know, since then it's just been up. You know, it's been an experience that you know, we really can't explain. You know, and you know, as a parent, as a dad, I can't be more proud. But I got to give, you know, full props to my wife as well, of course, who holds down the fort and does everything for us here at the house. from the cooking to the discipline, and we all try to manage it together, of course. But a very special kid, a very special student, athlete, of course.
In today's day and age, we see so many kids that are just lost and don't have direction. And you look at your son and go, wow, that's pretty remarkable. And your two other boys that he mentioned, one has already won a state title. The other is on his way to Sunnyside to keep that tradition going. How much did the wrestling discipline help? Because I wrestled in high school. You have to be disciplined to wrestle. And it also, I'll tell folks, if you're looking for a sport to have your kid play, think about wrestling, because they don't have time to get in trouble. They don't have time to go off and do a bunch of other things. They learn discipline, and that's something that I think we severely lack in some of the kids. The way we're raising kids right now is a lack of discipline. Talk to us about how wrestling helped prepare him for this.
Yeah, it's a big key. It's there's so much we can do here at the house, and we do our best. But the wrestling has just been crucial and key from the get-go. In regards to your social media question earlier too, and you kind of redirected it to that again. The discipline that wrestling gives you, minimizes all that. The social media, the video games. They enjoy their social media, they enjoy their video games, but they keep it to a minimum, right? So they keep it to a minimum because there's not much time. You got, they're at school 6:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. practice. They go to school a full day. They get out and lift. After they lift, they got a second practice, and then they might go run Tumamonk after that, or whatever it might be. So there's not much time for social media. There's not much time for video games. The discipline that wrestling has taught them has just been so big, so important, and that's something that, it comes from the family too. We all wrestled as well. Me, my brothers, cousins, everybody, it's all in the family. So, it's something that we instilled in them from the get-go, and it's just been one of the number one factors in being who he is today, and the rest of our kids as well.
Did he worry about being the cool kid? Here's what I found amongst these kids that go to places like this and make the commitments. They were well liked, but they weren't necessarily the cool kid that went out partying every weekend and were running around with the rest of their friends. Most of the time, they were home studying on Saturday or spending time with their family. So they were liked, but they weren't the cool kids. And you wonder, like, are they a little different than the rest of the kids and their friends and everybody else at school?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's necessarily worried about being ever being the cool kid. He's not. That's really not his personality or any of my other two kids. They enjoy their social life. They have their friends. They go out to eat. They'll, go bowling, do what kids do still, but they keep it to a minimum. Like I said, they don't have much time for much else because they even practice on the weekends and lift and whatnot. So, they've never been like that, and he's always been just pretty even keeled. Keeps everything to a minimum, and just he'll do a studying on the weekend and whatnot, and lifting and whatever it might be, and doesn't really worry about the rest of all that. So now he's pretty disciplined.
I got to ask you this question, and this is kind of personal. My grandfather, one came from Mexico, one came from the Philippines, and they were both so proud to be American that in both of their houses, that was the one thing that was prominently displayed were their citizenship papers once they earned their citizenship. And for my boy, he told me, he said, boy, this country's been so good to us. I need to give back. I need to serve our country that has been so good to our family. For you, coming here to the United States, and for him being a first-generation American, what does that make you feel to know that your boy has decided that not only is he going to attend one of the most prestigious universities in America, he's going to serve our nation, and he is in line to be one of the great leaders that's going to lead this country 20 years from now?
Yeah, that's just enormous for our family. It's so special. It chokes me up.
I'm crying too. I'm not going to be afraid to tell you. You guys have inspired me so much because it reminds. I wish my dad were alive because I'd love to tell him the story about your son.
Yeah, it's a great. It is the greatest country on earth. It's the country of opportunity, and and he's taking full advantage of that. He's a leader. Jaime is a leader, and being in the classroom, in the wrestling room, he's been captain for the last couple of years in the community. So that leadership is what's taken him, to West Point, and he knows the opportunities ahead now. How his life has already changed. When he committed spring of his junior year to West Point, his life changed. He was looked at, he was already, very well respected, and he's already team captain and a leader in the community, but he just, things have already changed. And that was a year and a half ago, or whatever it was, a year ago. So, that question is just immense for our family, for, being from Mexico, and Jaime having the opportunity to be one of the leaders of this country down the line is just immense. It's just tremendous, and it's just an opportunity and something that he's going to never forget for the rest of his life.
It is an incredible story, and something that not just the folks at Sunnyside, but I think the entire community of Tucson, the state of Arizona, is so proud of your boy and in the decisions that he's made and the sacrifice. I was just telling him, say goodbye to your hair because you won't have any for a while. You're not getting summer vacations. You're not going to spring break. You're not going to be able to leave. You're going to be doing a lot of push-ups. It is something to get through your plebe year at the academy.
Absolutely. He's excited for it, and we're excited for it, and we got a lot of them at Sunnyside too. It's not just Jaime. The culture has changed.
Yeah.
It's changing, and he's a big part of it. I would love to think that he's the main reason, but there's always a bad connotation when it comes to the district and to Sunnyside, and that's something that we don't appreciate as parents of the district, and because our kids go there, of course. But that's changing. It's changed. There's leaders there. There's going to be future individuals that are going to be doing big things in the next year or two or three, and people are going to see it. So Jaime has done a great job to be a leader in the community, in the classroom, in the wrestling room. Because now I told Jaime before he started his freshman year, like, Jaime, I would love for you to be the RBY, the Roman Bravo Young of wrestling at Sunnyside. Let's go in there. Let's give it all we got. I knew he was going to win his state titles. I didn't know how many, but he did a heck of a job. He was a 4-time finalist, 3-time state champ, of course. But I would have loved for him to be an RBY, but you know what? I was like, now we have an opportunity, even bigger opportunity. Let's be the RBY of academics at Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Let's do that when we get into Sunnyside, because I know you got it. From the district, from the school he was at in middle school, he was one of the top students there as well. Very big middle school. We knew we were going to come in, and we're very confident that he was going to do well. So I was like, Jaime, let's go in. The wrestling part is going to be there. You're going to be a great wrestler. I know it. You, your brothers, anybody who goes through that program, they're going to do special things if they put the work in. But let's make a real difference. Let's be the RBY of academics at Sunnyside. And I guarantee you, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're destined for greatness. You tell a kid something like that from the get-go, from a very young age, that they're destined for greatness, nothing but positivity, they're going to do it. If you tell them the opposite, they're going to do the opposite. We've tried to preach nothing but positive here at our household, me and my wife, and that's what we've continued to do, and he's accomplished it. So in my eyes, he's the RBY of academics at Sunnyside and in the Sunnyside Unified School District.
Jaime Rivera Sr. is joining us right now. We just met his son, Jaime Jr., who is received an appointment to West Point. He's a 3-time state wrestling champion at Sunnyside. Now will represent Tucson at West Point, where he'll wrestle Division I. It's an inspiring story. I mean, have you thought about this? What if he is the beginning of that pipeline, that conduit that tells kids at Sunnyside and the south side of Tucson, throughout Tucson, I don't care what neighborhood you come from, that if you work hard, you can achieve. And he could be the first of many kids that we'll see come from Tucson that will go eventually to West Point, into Navy, into Colorado Springs, into Coast Guard and Merchant Marine. He could be that inspirational leader that opens that pipeline up for kids here for opportunities that I never would have ever dreamed of as a kid, that these kids from our community can achieve.
Yes, I told him that from the get-go. You know, throughout the commitment process or throughout the recruiting process, he had multiple other options. And once he narrowed it down and committed, I was like, I mean, this is going to change your life. Not only that, it's going to change your name and the Rivera legacy forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to open the door not only for yourself, but for everybody else in this district. And there's a lot of hard workers, a lot of academics, and he is opening up that opportunity for them. And they're coming. They are coming. Trust me. You'll be hearing more to come.
That is incredible. Have you thought about what it's going to be like when he reports?
Oh man, it's hard enough right now, and I choke up as is, and he's still here. So
on our day when you go on campus, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to go or not. I wasn't able to drop off my son because of COVID. So I'm actually going to the academy this weekend. I've never been there before, so this is the first time I'm going to be able to see him at school. But I know for Army, you get 90 seconds. They're going to stand up and they go, you got 90 seconds to say your goodbyes, and then he's property of Uncle Sam.
All right. Yes. No, I understand. And yes, we will be there. And, it's going to be a very difficult transition per se, but yes, I'm very aware of that. And, but I know he's going to make us proud and, Southside Tucson, Arizona in general, and the state of Arizona proud. He's got a very bright future.
Just wait till you see him march on during the Army-Navy game. The long line, long gray line, and your boy's going to be out there marching on with the best our country has to offer. I just want to thank you for sharing this story with us, and thanks to your entire family for letting us inside and learning more about your family, your family's legacy, which is growing. And I think it's an inspiration to everybody that's listening to us today. We're the Wildcat Station. We're proud to be the home of the Arizona Wildcats, but we're Tucsonans as well. And when we see a young man like this who will come back one day to Tucson, and you never know, he might teach at the University of Arizona in the ROTC program. He might come back and be a commanding general here in the state of Arizona. You never know what he's going to do. He's going to be at the Pentagon maybe one day. We got to celebrate kids like this because they're role models for everybody.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. And I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. He's going to, work hard, and he knows he's got a lot of work to do. It's just barely beginning, and he's got it in him. He's got the work ethic, and he's going to make everybody proud. And we can't wait to see what he does and to see what the rest of the kids do from the Sunnyside School District and especially from the Sunnyside Wrestling Room, because there's more coming. So we're very excited for him and for our family and for everybody else.
Well, save a couple for Navy and Merchant Marine. We could use those over here.
Absolutely. No, they have some great programs as well, and great coaches and whatnot. So yes, we got some hopefully headed that way into Colorado Springs as well. So
absolutely,
to the Air Force Academy. So.
Well, I sent you a photo. I sent you a photo of the Service Academy Ball. All the mids and cadets from Arizona. They have a military ball during the holidays. So I hope to see you there. See your boy in his gray uniform. It's going to be something special, and I can't wait to meet you in person and congratulate you. Best of luck to your son. We're going to keep an eye on him, and he is going to make Tucson proud. I can guarantee you that.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be able to share our story, to tell it to you guys, and for the radio, and then Tucson, Arizona in general. Thank you so much, and we hope to make everybody proud. Continue making everybody proud.
Give your wife a big hug. Tell her congratulations from all of us.
Thank you. I definitely will do.
Take care.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Jaime Rivera Sr. joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Listen, I told you when I came back to town and I was going to do the show again here, I was going to be completely transparent. And I am not afraid to cry on the radio, and I struggle not to cry, just tears of joy and admiration. I mean, if that doesn't choke you up, thinking about this family, first-generation Americans, and he's achieved what he has, and he's just getting going. So I know there's a lot of dads that listen and a lot of moms and grandparents. our kids are able of achieving anything in the world as long as we believe in them. We instill a work ethic in them, and we instill discipline in them. You give them those three things, and there's nothing they can't do. Love, discipline, work ethic, and encouragement. There's a lot of Jaimes out here in Tucson that could follow in his footsteps and do what he's done and achieve great things. So I want to share that story with you. All right, we got baseball coming up in just a minute. We're waiting to see. We don't know the exact start time for Arizona taking on Stanford in Game 2. What are we looking? Do we have a start time?
Right now, we're looking at potentially going beyond 5 o'clock because right now.
No, I'm on vacation at 5 o'clock.
Well, I know this, but Washington and UCLA is still in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's now 2 outs.
Come on, hurry up! I've got a vacation. I got a flight to catch.
By the way, you doing any golfing while you're out there in New York?
No, I'm not going to golf. I can't get on Bethpage Black.
Okay, fair.
I wish I could, because if I did, this is called a transition, folks, because I forgot to read a commercial earlier because I was so excited to have Jaime come on the program. What? Okay, wait a second. We'll get to the second. Now I got a little extra time because UCLA won't hurry up. Who's winning, by the way?
UCLA is currently winning 14-7. They were
14-7. Hurry up! The softball, they mercy rule them.
No.
Was it UCLA versus
Washington? Washington has the bottom of the inning, so they'll have at least one more full inning left to go before this game is done.
Don't they realize that I'm on vacation?
You'll be on vacation.
My
Don't worry.
vacation is supposed to start in 23 minutes.
Rich, your vacation will start in 23 minutes. Do not fret.
No, because it's going to go long.
Yeah.
So I got extra time to talk with you.
Yes.
In Tucson. If you guys want to react to that conversation, I'd love to hear from folks. Think about this. First generation America. First generation American. Mine is mine's third generation. And he achieved everything he has in our community. I want you to think about that, folks. How inspiring is that? I want to get your reaction. I mean, listen, every day we're reading in the news about kids that are doing bad things and getting in trouble and are lost. That's the thing is, kids these days are lost. Every day we hear about that. It's shame on the media because that's all we ever concentrate on. We don't hold kids like Jaime up as a role model. We don't talk to parents about things you could do to instill lessons you can give your kids to achieve whatever they want. Listen, God bless Jaime for wanting to go protect our country. God bless my boy for wanting to do the same. If your kid wants to go be a musician, then give him the encouragement and the tools to go be the best musician that he can. Wants to be an architect, whatever he wants to do. We don't talk enough about that. We always talk about the bad things. Shame on the media for that, but that's sexy, that gets clicks, and that's what gets people excited. But I'd love to hear a reaction to this family you just met. And I know I'm personally proud that I live in the same community as them. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Real quick, let me tell you about PGA Tour Superstore. That's what Dragon Ball was trying to tell me to tell everybody about. This weekend, Memorial Day, you might get an opportunity to play golf. You might break your golf club. Dragon Ball, you can't borrow my golf clubs because I don't trust you not to break them. But you might break a golf club. What do? Did you know the PGA Tour Superstore has a whole golf repair shop that can help you if you break your club? You bend the shaft, you need to replace it, you need to upgrade the shaft, you want to get a better shaft for your golf club. You need to re-grip your golf clubs. By the way, if you leave them in your garage, that's not a good idea. Worst thing in the world, if you leave them in the garage and it gets hot, that ruins the grips. PGA Tour Superstore has a full department and skilled technicians They can repair your golf clubs. In fact, the University of Arizona golfers, that's where they go drop their golf clubs off to get fixed. And if you want to upgrade, they have the biggest selection in Southern Arizona, and they'll actually custom fit the clubs for you. Golf balls, they have malls, shoes, they have everything a golfer could want, and a great staff that help you find knowledgeable products. Listen, this is how great they are. They actually have PGA instruction. They have a PGA member giving lessons inside the store. Located in Oracle and Limberlost. Here's the deal. You want to go in this weekend? You want to get yourself some great golf gear? You want to get a new club, new bag? You tell them that you listen to the Rich Herrera radio show or that you listen to Wildcats Radio 1290, either one. It's called a radio coupon. $100, they take off $20. That's right. $100 purchase, they'll knock $20 off just by mentioning the radio show. $250 or more, they'll take $50 off. It's a special offer just for our listeners. Tell them you listen to the Rich Herrera radio show. They'll knock $20 off your purchase of $100, $250 off your, or $50 off your purchase of $250 or more. Restrictions do apply. Ping, Titleist, FootJoy, not included in this promotion. Everything else, giddy up. PGA Tour Superstore, located in Oracle and Limberlost, home for golf pros and beginners like me. All right, I'm going to take a quick time out. We'll get caught up here. I do want to react to Tucson. Come on. I want to hear what you have to say. Did you not tear up? Did you not feel goosebumps listening to the Rivera family? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. I'm Rich Herrera. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Program today brought to you in part by Trajan Wealth. Trajan Wealth. They've been a longtime sponsor of this radio show. You can reach them at 321-4100, 321-4100, or go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. You know, but just thinking about this, I was looking at the price of gas. Something just popped up. Like, what's the cheapest gas you could find here in Arizona? I think it's like I think I paid $4.50 a gallon this week when I filled up. Some of my friends in California are paying $8 a gallon. That's gonna wreck the economy. I'm not sure what's gonna do to stocks and bonds and your investments, but there's some tough sledding coming. Interest rates are getting hiked up. So what are you gonna do? How are you gonna protect your investments? You need to find someone who's gonna be on top of that for you. You need to find a partner, someone you can trust, and that's what the people at Trajan Wealth are. Full service, privately owned firm with the A+ Better Business Bureau rating. You could come in and have a convenient face-to-face opportunity to sit down for an appointment. You're not calling some 800 number where someone in Pigs Knuckle, Arkansas answers one day and someone in San Diego the next. The next time you call back, you're talking to someone down in Florida. No, it's people right there that you develop a relationship with. They're right there as your partners. They are fiduciaries. They have an advisory fee. It's a low percentage set up front with you, the client. The more money that you make, the more money that they make. They're in this with you to protect your investments. If you don't have somebody like that right now, I suggest you do it with the way the economy is going. Here's their number, 321-4100, 321-4100, or go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. To the phones we go. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. David, line one, welcome. Bear down. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290.
How you doing, Rich?
What's up, brother?
Well, you know that I'm a teacher, and you know that I teach at Sunnyside. So
I don't know if you want to tell people where you teach, because then they're going to question your judgment because you listen to this radio show.
Well, after who you had interviewed today, they're going to not question it anymore.
That's true. Well, yes. No. He made the show much better.
And I'm going to tell you what, as just having listened to that, I have to tell you, I really appreciate that you reached out to he and his family, because all too often, as Jaime Sr. mentioned, our district, our school, as a matter of fact, they get publicity for all the wrong reasons all too often. And it is so refreshing to hear these stories, these wonderful stories of kids going out and doing the best that they can do and being compensated for that greatly. This is a young man that has just dedicated himself to his craft, to to being great at what he does. And he has made us all proud at Sunnyside. He, along with many, many other students there at Sunnyside. I think that another thing that Jaime Sr. said, that there's a very different culture now at Sunnyside, and it's one of striving to achieve bigger and better. And I'm hoping that this is going to be a stepping stone for many future generations of graduating students at Sunnyside. Because his story is really an incredible story. And we've been talking to a lot of the students lately about just how big of an honor this is to be nominated and then to be accepted into a service academy. This isn't happening every day. And it's just the effort that goes into reaching that level is so incredibly difficult. And to see that can happen for a kid like him in a district like ours, it's boundless in terms of what this could mean for our community.
So many times we tell our kids what they can't do. You're not going to be able to achieve that. You can't achieve this. Look where you're from. You're never going to be able to amount to anything. We don't tell kids to dream big. We don't tell kids to dream realistic. Sometimes we have kids that dream big, but we don't teach them that you can dream big, but you have to put in the work in order to make your dreams come true. You have to have a heart. You have to have a work ethic. You have to have discipline. You have to be accountable. You teach that to a kid and then tell them dream for all you can, they're gonna succeed. If you give them love and encouragement, and you hold them to a standard, and you hold them accountable, and you teach them work ethic, and you teach them responsibility, there's nothing they can't achieve. But so many times we don't tell kids that. We tell kids, oh, sorry, you're not going to be able to get to do anything. I tell people all the time, there's nothing that we can't accomplish if we work hard enough. Maybe you're not going to become president of the United States, but you can be pretty darn successful. And
absolutely.
And I tell people, listen, my dad was a migrant farm worker. My dad followed the crops. My dad lived in tents, and the only reason they didn't have dirt floors is my grandfather was able to figure out how to put a pallet floor together so his wife didn't have to stand on a dirt floor to raise her kids. That's what my family came from. And hold on a sec, David. And okay. I haven't talked about this in a while. My dad was able to achieve. He had a dream. He wanted to be a police officer because he said that'll keep us from following the crops around. And he did. He became a cop. He was able to give us a home life where we weren't picking lettuce and all the rest. I'm thankful for that. And the fact that we went from one generation of my grandfather picking fruit to my dad growing up that way, to me, I've met the President of the United States. Can you imagine anywhere else in the world you can go from being a laborer to shaking hands with the President of the United States one generation later? That doesn't happen everywhere.
No,
and
not at all.
And if we embrace that and we give our kids encouragement and tell them they can do these things, there's nothing they can't do. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I have a story similar to that in the sense that my grandparents, all of my grandparents, are of Mexican heritage. My grandfather on my dad's side, he was a rancher all his life. My father started out ranching as a young man. He went on. He graduated along with my mom. They graduated from Sunnyside High School, as a matter of fact. My dad participated in sports there. Everyone in my family basically went to Sunnyside. I was the only one who didn't go to Sunnyside, but now I teach there, so go figure. But then my dad went. He became a member of the Army, and he was part of the 101st Airborne. And that discipline, along with the hard work that he put in as a rancher, led to him being able to provide me with a really wonderful life. He worked so hard, and he took himself from near nothing when he first started out to being able to lead a very comfortable life and put himself in a really good position in retirement and allowed me to get a college education, to go out and do the things that I needed to do. And I'm grateful to him for that. And again, it's because you have to have determination, you have to have perseverance, and with those things, and just knowing that this is a country in which you can do that as long as you put in the effort. As a matter of fact, a few teachers and I, we were talking yesterday in our final day of school that exactly what you said. Dream big, but dream realistic. That there are some dreams that maybe are too big, but it is incumbent upon us as teachers to sit and talk to these students and allow them to see what is realistic as opposed to what is just a dream. And we are trying to make a difference in their lives in terms of opening their eyes to what they need to be looking at from a realist perspective. Like, okay, dream big, but you've got to know the limitations out there. We don't want to hold you back, but you need to know that there are some things out there that maybe you should not be striving for, because it's only going to lead you into a position where you're going to be disappointed, and then that could lead to even further failure. So I do get what you're saying, absolutely. Dream big, but be realistic. We talked about this ad nauseum yesterday about how we need to address our students and how we need to really get through to them as teachers and do more than just educate them on curriculum, but make them better citizens, make them better people.
I can't top that. I have nothing else to add that's so perfectly eloquent and needed. So if there's some teachers out there, I hope you heed David's advice. If there's some parents out there listening, I hope you heed his advice and Jaime's advice. And I think, I know we're a sports show, and I know I don't do politics here. I have plenty of things I think about, but I just choose not to do them here. But I think we should do more of what you're talking about, of encouraging, especially through sports, teaching these kids the life lessons that are going to help them succeed. And again, not everybody's going to get into West Point. It is a tough school to get into. Not everybody's going to get into Harvard. But you know what? There's going to be some kids that are going to go to the U of A, and they're our next generation of leaders. But they don't know about the U of A yet. There's a lot of kids in town wouldn't think that I could go to the U of A. I know when I was in high school, I never thought of college. College is, for me, the closest we got to college is the rancher that my grandfather worked for had Stanford season tickets, and every once in a while, if he wasn't using them, we got to go. That's as close as. I didn't even realize, David, that there was a school on the other side of Stanford Stadium. I never knew that as a kid growing up. I never knew what Stanford was. I never knew what Cal was. I just knew that they had football. And every once in a while, if I was good, I got to go to a game.
Team.
Yeah. And our kids can do that if we give them the proper encouragement. So my hat's off to everybody at Sunnyside and keep it going. Make it a pipeline. Let's send a bunch of kids to the University of Arizona. Let's send a bunch of kids to West Point and to Harvard and to Navy and to Air Force. Let's send a bunch of kids to Navy and the Merchant Marine Academy and Coast Guard. Let's send a bunch of kids to all the great universities in the country except for Arizona State.
There you go. And once again, Rich, I just want to thank you so much for bringing him on and kind of opening up his story to everybody here in town so that they know exactly what is happening in these institutions of education. You know, there are good things happening in schools. Right
100%. Now. David, get out of here. Stop telling people where you work, or they're gonna question you. Parents are gonna go, wait, I heard you on the radio. You listen to that clown? What are you doing over here? David, thanks. Have a nice weekend.
All right, take care, Rich.
All right, we got to give away a $25 gift card to Topo Chico from Topo Chico. $25 gift card. You could use it to get Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer, Topo Chico Ranch Water Hard Seltzer. Dragon Ball, you give me a number.
We'll go ahead and we'll go with 6.
Why?
Because I said so.
There you go. Call number 6 right now, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. You're getting a little cocky knowing that I'm leaving the state.
I'm a little cocky, admittedly a little cocky.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, the number for you to join us. Call number 6 right now. You'll win a $25 gift card, courtesy of Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer, Topo Chico Ranch Water Hard Seltzer. I'm Rich Rare. This is 1290.
This is David Amott, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 4:53. Arizona baseball gets set to start their. They're going to continue their journey in the Pac-12 baseball tournament as they take on the top team in the conference in Stanford here with the chance to stay in the winner's bracket. That game will be starting up in just a couple of minutes here. Another signing for the Arizona Cardinals draft pick class is they signed third-round pick from San Diego State linebacker Cameron Thomas to a 4-year contract. And the Yankees now try to fill out their outfield with a plethora of injuries as they sign former Cardinals star Matt Carpenter to a major league contract as they now bring him in to the active roster. Looking at the NBA and NHL playoffs around the country here, the end of the first period for the New York Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes ends in 1 goal each. They'll continue in the second period here. And Edmonton-Calgary, once again, the Battle of Alberta will start at about 6:30 this afternoon. 6 o'clock tip-off for Dallas and Golden State as the Warriors look to try and close out the series in Golden State. And that will be what's trending locally and nationally here on 1290. Still more to come on the Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bum. All right, Dragon Ball, I don't know what you're going to do in approximately 5 minutes and 30 seconds because I'm on vacation starting at 5.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I might start drinking. I might start drinking now.
Oh, you shouldn't start drinking yet.
Go ahead, Dragon Ball, do the show.
Oh, boy. Well, in the end, folks, we just want to remind you that, again, the U of A baseball game was starting up in a couple of minutes here. We're still waiting for exact confirmation for the start time because we just had the end of the Washington-UCLA game.
Oh, I got friends in low places where the whiskey...
You know what? Here, we'll go ahead and we'll lower that for a little bit. Just to let you know, again, UCLA beat Washington, so that looks like that should be the final game for Washington. I believe that was in the losers bracket, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll go ahead and we'll have again.
What? Sorry. Were you talking? But am I starting my vacation yet? Is the baseball game ready to go?
No, we're still going to be waiting a couple more minutes for the start of the baseball game here. But like we said, we'll go ahead and we'll send that out to Brian Jeffries here in just a couple more minutes. And
I know Brian's been texting like the game's going long. We're going to be delayed a little bit. So those of you that are tuning in looking for Arizona baseball, which was scheduled to start at 4:55, the way this works is one game's over. It takes them a little bit of time, like 10, 15 minutes probably, to prep the field. So Brian will get going with this pregame show here in just a couple of minutes. But it does give me a chance to remind everybody the show's brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore, Dragon Ball. Have you decided what to do for Father's Day?
I have a couple of ideas.
I've got a better idea for you.
Okay.
You should go to PGA Tour Superstore. In fact, everybody should go to PGA Tour Superstore for Father's Day. Why? Because it's the biggest selection of golf equipment for the golfer in your life. Don't get him an ashtray. Don't get him a T-shirt. Listen, I've got enough World's Greatest Dad T-shirts. What I need is golf balls or new golf shoes, maybe a new golf shirt. That's what they have at PGA Tour Superstore. They have Titleist Pro V1s. They've got TaylorMade. They've got Callaway, Bridgestone, Wilson. Shoes from Nike, Adidas, Echo, Puma, New Balance, Skechers, FootJoy, and the new MG4s. Oh, those are awesome. Clothing, Black Clover, Travis Matthew, Nike, Under Armour, Puma, Barstool Sports Gear. They got everything. And here's the greatest thing about PGA Tour Superstore. If you tell them, you're friends of mine, they'll hook you up. They'll take $10 off, or excuse me, 20, not just 10, $20 off a purchase of $100, $50 off a purchase $250. Restrictions do apply. Ping, Titleist, FootJoy not included, but everything else, giddy up. PGA Tour Superstore. Shop with the pros at Tucson's PGA Tour Superstore. It's the best golf store in all of Southern Arizona. They're located at Oracle and Limberlost. It's a great place to find your Father's Day gift. All right, what are you telling me? Both of you guys are looking at me in there. Can I start my vacation yet?
We'll be starting your vacation here in just a little bit there.
What do we schedule for our first pitch?
Well, right now, based on what we just got from Mr. Brian Jeffries, their Arizona-Stanford game will start at 5:25, which means that our pregame will be at 5:10. So
I got a little bit more time.
Yes.
Well, I've only got 2 minutes now. 2 minutes as of now. 2 minutes left, and then I'm going on vacation. So I'm going to let you finish the show.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and finish it.
What, you want to?
Well, I can go ahead.
I mean, how long would it take you to finish the show? You haven't finished your lunch yet.
If we're going to...
You went to Chipotle at what time?
I went to Chipotle. I got out of the gym, and I picked up my Chipotle at about 11:40-ish or so.
And how much is left?
Probably
Almost
about the
all
same.
of it.
Probably about the same amount that I started with, to be completely honest with you.
It's ice cold.
It's not that bad.
You're like a little kid.
I am a little kid, but I'll tell you what. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of a colder meal. I'm telling you.
No, there's not. It's gross.
It's not that. It's not.
It's
gross.
disgusting.
It's a little. It can be a little bland at times, but it's certainly not gross.
All right. So anyway, let's explain to everybody. They're going to get started 5:10 pregame show?
Yes.
5:10 pregame show. We will turn it over. Now, if Arizona wins against the number 1 seed Stanford, they get Friday off. They can hang out in Scottsdale. They can get off their feet, rest. If they win, they'll play Saturday at 9 a.m. Right? Is everybody shaking their head? Yes, am I right?
Yes, that
I
is
wrote
accurate.
the schedule down, so it's
Yes.
9 a.m. on Saturday. If by some unfortunate circumstance they lose and they fall into the loser's bracket, Arizona will play at 3 p.m. on Friday against Tempe
Arizona.
Normal Women's Teachers College,
Otherwise known as ASU.
otherwise known as Tempe Normal.
Yes. Or ASU.
Or as Brad Sessman says, always something university.
Always something.
Okay, so Cats win Saturday. They'll play at 9 a.m. Cats lose. They'll play Tempe Normal at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Either way, I'm on vacation. So you're either going to get baseball or Zach Gelb. I vote for Zach Gelb.
We can do that.
Okay? By the way, so this is how it all lines up. Arizona wins. They play Saturday, 9 a.m. And then they'd be 2-0. If they win that game, they advance on to the Sunday finals. They lose that game on Saturday. If they go in and they stay in the winner's bracket, they'll play again at 4:45 in order to try to advance into the championship game, because it's double elimination until you get to Saturday's championship game. So right now, Oregon's already out. Who lost? Washington's out, right?
Right.
Arizona's in the winner bracket, as is Stanford. So this is a big game. Arizona wins, we're good to go. Arizona loses, they play on Friday. Monday, no show for Memorial Day. Tuesday, no show because I'm flying back from New York. So I'll be back on the air with you on Wednesday, Dragon Ball.
There we go.
Okay. So are we going to take it right up until 5:10?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and
Can we stay until 5:10? This is live radio, folks. Look, we could even see Dragon Ball.
Yeah, we'll go ahead
Dragon
and
Ball
stay until about 5:10 there.
All right, we're going to stay until 5:10. All right. What else did I have to tell you about? Oh, Doves play tonight. If I figure out how much I'm going to spend tonight, I'm going to go for $100.
I keep telling you to
because I play with house money. I started. I'll be honest. I started my account with $50, and I haven't put anything in since then. I think I'm up to like $450. That's how much I was killing it during football and college basketball. So I'm up like $400 for the year. I'm thinking of going $100 tonight on the Warriors to finish out, but I think they're 6.5-point favorites. To finish off Dallas tonight. Now, you told me last week, you told me before the last game you had a feeling. You told me don't risk the whole thing.
I kept telling you do not bet.
Do you feel good about the Dubs winning tonight?
Them at home, I feel good about.
6.5-point good?
I feel good about taking them to win. I don't know about the spread because it's probably going to be a close game.
See, now you're just going to make this more stressful for me.
I mean, is that not what my job is, Rich? By the way, speaking of stressful, do you want to stop real quick for the top of the hour station ID?
No, I'm on vacation. I don't care. All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. I'm just waiting for the big boss to come in here and start banging on the windows, say, Herrera, knock it off. I don't care if you're now officially on vacation.
I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be more than okay.
I'm just waiting for somebody to come in here and say, okay, listen, you owe us 7 more minutes before we send it to Brian.
I don't think anyone's going to ask you for more time on
For
the
more
clock.
time on the clock? Before I go. What should I do? What should I do in New York? I'm going to eat a hot dog. I'm going to have a slice of pizza. I'm going to get a pretzel.
Well,
I'm going to go to the World Trade Center to Ground Zero.
If I'm being selfish, one of the things I've always wanted to do when I go to if I ever were to go to New York, I want to go to Central Park and I want to go and find the Balto statue.
Yeah, that's not on my list.
That's
I think
one of mine.
you don't. That's why we're so different. What's the Balto statue?
Well, it's the statue about the leading mush dog that saved a village of children in Nome, Alaska. There was a whole movie about it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That was a kid, and it was an animated movie. So there's a reason I watched it.
There's a tourist spot that's inspired by a movie that we're going to go to. Guess. I'm in New York.
Is it anything for Home Alone?
No.
It's
Rich Herrera.
What? I don't know your movie taste.
No, it's not my movie taste, but it's a famous movie that's inspired by New York. Are you cutting me off?
Well, yeah, because it's going to be going to 5 here.
Am I done for the day?
Yeah.
I thought it was working till 10 for 10 more minutes. No, you know where we're going to go?
What's that?
Tomorrow, I'm meeting my son at Coyote Ugly.
Oh, no.
Hey, thank you guys
you were
very
talking
much.
About bars.
Arizona baseball's coming up next. Hey, don't forget this Memorial Day weekend, just take a moment and thank all of those that made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our country free, like my fraternity brother, Major Jason George.